Hey everyone, my name is Pixel and I want to welcome you back to Tiny Bunny. If you remember what happened in our last episode, we befriended a fox. Or a girl. Or maybe a fox girl. She's very mysterious and we've just found ourselves on the way to school, so let's see what awaits us this episode, huh? The school's outline was already in our sight. A giant brick box stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams and childish laughter and someone's whistling tore up the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smelled of Polish, puffy snow outside. The second time I came alone to get the books and just kept on imagining my peers. Rolling down the railings, grade schoolers, running to the library, and the teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance, in track pants, wool caps perched on their foreheads. This is a high schooler? Seems a little old to be a high schooler. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes for a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and teeth yellow from nicotine. Their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion. I'll wait for you at the backyard after school, near the hangman. Near what? She just ignored my question. Don't be late. I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply. I'm going straight home after school. Well, Antasha, I'm going to let you off the hook. But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily. Remember my words. Whoa. Her mouth just opened. The fox opened her mouth in a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. You jerks! It whimpered and ran toward the spring. The darkness devoured it. The fox girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved in the frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. After taking a deep breath, I went toward the school, toward the cutlets and dough, toward the light raining down onto the snow. Let's go in now. Let's go to school. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board. It's Volva. Oh no. 10 years old, he left his home and never returned, was last seen at the bridge. He was wearing an orange coat with a hood, a black wool cap, a scarf, and mittens with green stripes. Might have had a plastic toy gun on him. Oh, good, so he was packing. He was strapped. Child missing. Volva Matyukin. That was his name. A 4th grader. On that grainy print, Volva looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? Plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window, took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, bunny tasty meals prepare. I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep since she was carrying an attendance register book. Ekaterina, take this, please. The teacher opened the classroom door, and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall, red-headed fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the insides of a pomegranate. A bad feeling risen up on the hair of the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettling eyes, cackling laughter. The girl, who was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. "Move your legs, moron!" The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Is that a penis? Somebody's walking with a penis? Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away? Go outside, dissolve into dark? I imagine myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, then took a couple deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and I entered the classroom. You gotta go to learn. You gotta go to school. Beware the blistered fat boy. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name? Petrov. Huh? Why are you mumbling there? Say it clearly. Petrov. You're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison like a living organism, like a dangerous beast. Are you sure? I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fist so hard my knuckles became white. They told me to come to the classroom 204 to ask for Lilia Pavlovna, class 6C. Apparently everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke because they were all laughing. What's wrong with this school? Classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion. Why do we hire so many interns? They all know how to put lipstick all over their bulging lips. When it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything. How did they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh. We've had the same thing happen so many times already. Wait here. I'll be back. After I have a little chat with them. Teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Woo! Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind at my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, "This is new boy. Is he one of us or an outsider?" Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom. Wipe the board! It was easy to guess who the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes, are you not only blind but also deaf? I said wipe the board! My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be. Hey, welcome back, Teach. And what should I do with you now? Where will you sit? Oh, well, you can sit with Semyon, I guess. He's alone anyway. No way! The fatso put his backpack on the seat behind him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked. Are you back to your old tricks? Should I call your grandma here again? The classroom went silent. And what's she gonna do? I'll be the one to do something if she doesn't. Put away your backpack, now. Semyon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of the writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something, to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Semyon, then back at me. Fine, go there for now. And you, Babberin, I'll have a talk with you later. Come to me after classes. You'll be on cleaning duty, got it? Semyon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. You. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back of that last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats and the class was ready to start. Now this is settled, let's start the class. Today's theme is traditions of Russian and international literature, and Zoshenko's Don't Lie. The fatso turned back to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. I've got my eyes on you, said his watery look. Turn around, fatso. Nobody wants to see your pimpled, blistered face. Ew. After just a couple of periods, I had already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, the Semyon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. Then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet, so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Semyon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right into her chest. Ow! I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright? Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone. I'll tell my mom. Oh, they'll expel you, pervert. There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put a lit-up match to the chafer beetle. I didn't mean to. He pushed me. We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Semyon's laughter cooled my head. I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground. Like this, huh? What you gonna do now? The bully towered over me as if saying, come on, hit me. Let me see you try. What? Fuck you. Listen, you. My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own, and my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Semyon wore a mocking smile. Go on, Four Eyes. Why'd you stop? We're all waiting. If you ever touch me again. Semyon slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead. I did. So what? If you ever do it again. Here. Once more. And again. And again. And again. He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backward. I must not cry, or I'll be done for. What will a wimp like you do to me? My vision went blurry. My soles tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. Yeah! Get him! What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Semyon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule? I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Pavlovna, Petrov just hit Babberin. Simeon's cheek grew even redder and his pimples even wider, like the heads of larvae. But a smile flashed on his face that was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. You are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with a boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist will go. Solar plexus, the jaw, the nose, but he just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm going to get killed today. Hey, you stood up for yourself, man. I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Simeon didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Simeon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water was coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone, a sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. I remembered his smile. Him looking at me. Okay, so, is it just me or does that boy look a little different now? I don't remember that face looking so evil looking. And the fact that he's most likely already dead. Hello! I shuddered and turned around. Is this going to be somebody nice for a change? At first my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. You look nice. You look nicer than the others. She sat in front of the first row in the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. Very. She's the nice-looking one for a change. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Simeon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. So she spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook. Hello. I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor. It was cool, the way that you hit him. It was just an accident. Almost. I started shoving books in my backpack, at least to put something in my hands. Simeon wasn't like that before. He also transferred here just recently. His grandma told me that it almost felt like he went mad. Even the upperclassmen fear Simeon. Did you know? But you're different. You're brave. I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me. Brave. A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes. Do you live over the river? In that wooden house? Yeah. Must be scary living there. And you also have to cross the forest. I wouldn't be able to do that. I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of the intertwining branches of a snake-like trail, of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied. It's not that scary. What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream. Well, actually, never mind. My name's Paulina, by the way, and I'm Anton. I already know that. Hey, Anton? She stumbled as if trying to decide whether she should continue. What are you doing after school? My chest felt prickly after her innocent question, yet somehow it felt pleasant. Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Okay, you're gonna fade into the darkness now? The snow is... It's not supposed to go that way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Wait, hold on a second. Is this Paulina? Alyssa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes and the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if that fox girl is waiting for me after the school? Or was it another one of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under her coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after our PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty. Soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest's embrace. Okay, so maybe that's okay, that's not Paulina. He was just daydreaming there. I have a violin lesson, and then I'll be free. My grandpa hired me a private tutor. Our music teacher is a violinist, and he doesn't have anyone to teach here, except for me. She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Alyssa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. I felt like I was very small, and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me. They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village. Normally, Grandpa would escort me home from school, but he's been sick lately. I snuck a glance at Volva's photo. Dude, the boy is not looking right, okay? Every time we look at this picture. His eye wells were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick, just like the portrait on a gravestone. I mean, I'm not a coward. It's just... I think I'll be safer together with you. Will you go home with me, Anton? There it was. Finally, everything that I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamt about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Simeon instantly sobered me up, returned me back to earth, and it started shaking under my feet like a deck on a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Paulina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. And him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is that Paulina will see all of that. And she'll laugh at me, like everybody else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state. I doubt I'll be able to today. You know, Simeon is waiting for me outside. I need to deal with him one-on-one, like a man. Nonsense. Paulina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Paulina was like water when you were thirsty. You gulp it down and still wanted more. I remember the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, and our parents' laughs in the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was? Do you really think that savage will give you a fair fight? He'll just swarm you with his friends without giving you a chance to catch a breath. Paulina suddenly flashed a devious smile. But if we go together, they will be put off. I'm not only the first violin of this village, I'm also a girl. I've heard from a delinquent. I know that he'll never attack someone when there's a girl around. Can you imagine? They have this weird code of honor. A delinquent, you know? I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller? More handsome? Oh, I have to go to music class. She made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamps, she looked much more alluring. Can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for change. Soy's song echoed through my thoughts and my desire to change something. That guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move from the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more. I don't, sadly. A pity. Oh well, I'll be going. Bye. Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Paulina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Simeon with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Paulina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. And besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. And even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from all the killers lurking in the woods at the night, Paulina was worth the risk. But the red, cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will also almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya. I imagine my sister happy like those girls who get prizes from Supanov in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers, maybe a new popular boys band like Avanushki International. Mom and Dad hugging in the Ostakino Pavilion, and then all of us going to Disneyland. That's real nice. We're gonna go with Paulina. Snow danced in the air outside the window, following the rhythm of the music that was flowing around the corner. I jumped off the windowsill and started walking around the hallway, curiosity eating away at me. The half an hour I'd spent here waiting and crawled at snail's pace, I wanted to see Paulina again. The music became louder. It streamed out the half-open door at the far end of the corridor. My music taste was limited to Letov, Shevkov, the timeless classics, and pop songs I saw on TV, along with music videos that would sometimes be on tapes put on as teasers before a movie. But this violin melody captivated me. It felt like a master woodcutter working with delicate wood, a fragile crystal toy, a gust of warm wind. I pressed my cheek against the doorway. Paulina was hiding from me in the far end of the classroom, but a shadow that fell on the wall definitely belonged to a girl with a violin. The movements of how her bow was so graceful that I felt like I was getting carried away on the waves of music. My heart broke the barrier of my ribcage and started hopping around. Faster and faster it jumped on the snow piles, gliding between the pines toward the fiery sun above the windfall. Got tired of waiting? I was so deep in thought that I didn't hear the approaching footsteps. After bathing in music, Paulina felt even more magical. Oh, no, not really. I was thinking about my comic. For some unknown reason, I lied. You draw comics? Yeah, well, I mean, I want to draw one. Oh. And what will it be about? About the most charming and kind girl that plays a violin who somehow happened to be in this house of horror. About a fox. Oh, I mean, about talking animals who help children who get lost to return home from the woods. And then they dance in the night. Wow, sounds interesting. Did you come up with it yourself? I lowered my gaze. Got inspiration from looking out the window. We descended to the first floor. And that is where I am going to leave it off for today. I'm all out of time. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been fantastic. We've made a new friend who it seems like Anton wants to make more than a friend. We punched the bully and we've started school. Let's hope that Alyssa isn't too mad at us that we're abandoning her. Maybe it'll come back to haunt us. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to like the video. You want to see more content like this? You want to follow along with this series? Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. Get notified whenever our videos come out, and you can follow along with the story. You want to play this game for yourself? It's on Steam. Go check it out. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.